Today is just gonna be me making a my SummerSlam 2009 predictions. SummerSlam is this Sunday on pay-per-view. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know that. Some people thought it would be like 2 weeks away or something like that, but SummerSlam is here, and it's up to the WWE to bring SummerSlam back to where it needs to be. And when I'm talking about bringing it back where it needs to be, like back to meaning something again, like previous SummerSlams in the past, whether it be the 1998 SummerSlam or the 2001 SummerSlam, 2002, 1991, 1990, all those other good SummerSlams, bring it back to where it was, where all the storylines sort of made sense coming into the pay-per-view, the hype, and the matches that lived up to the hype, and that's what this SummerSlam needs to do, and hopefully WWE brings SummerSlam back to its roots, but I'm pretty sure that this SummerSlam might end up being like last year's, kind of lackluster and nothing really memorable or nothing of note. But SummerSlam has got 8 matches. I would have thought that the WWE would have added another match on there because there was talk about having a U.S. title match with Kofi Kingston defending his U.S. title, but I'm guessing they're saving that for Raw or the next pay-per-view, so we're not going to get a U.S. title match, or we're not going to get a women's title match. But knowing the WWE, they might add something at the last minute like they always do, because that's the WWE's way of kind of throwing people off guard, is by adding 2 or maybe 1 match that many people really didn't expect to be on the card. And I'm pretty sure the WWE is going to do that on Friday or Saturday. They'll add a match at the last minute. But let's get to this card for SummerSlam 2009. Let's get to these predictions. We start off with the first matchup, which I'm pretty sure ain't going to be the first matchup, but I just have everything out of order. But this is just how the card is right now. The first match I got, though, is Kane versus the Great Khali. Now, there's been some good build-up for this matchup, with Kane attacking the Great Khali and him kidnapping the Great Khali's manager, who I guess is supposedly his brother. And it's just been going on back and forth every week, and it's been sort of interesting. The build has been sort of interesting going into this matchup. But for the matchup, this is not really going to be a good matchup, because if you look at their matchup they had at WrestleMania 22, I believe. Yeah, 22, these two, or 21 or 22, whatever. These two had a real awful matchup. It was just boring. The crowd didn't get into it, and it was just real lackluster at best. And really, I expect the same thing in this matchup, as I really don't see anything memorable. It's a shame too, because the build up to this match has been real good, and it's been interesting to the point where you kind of want to see it, but you don't. But you kind of in the mix between the two. But still, like I said, this is not going to be a good matchup at all. This should be one of the worst matches on this card, and this might be a contender for worst match of the year. Yeah, I guess they'll be in that category with Jenna Morasca and Charmel and all the other matches that were really bad this year, whether it be in TNA, WWE, or any other wrestling promotion. It's going to be up there, and I expect this to be one of the worst matches of the year and one of the worst matches of the night. And I really don't care who wins this matchup, just as long as the WWE keeps this match short and sweet, because we as WWE fans really don't want this match to stretch out any longer, because we already saw what happened at WrestleMania 22, and we don't really need to see it again. So as long as the WWE can keep this short and sweet, then that'll be good for us. Then moving over to the second matchup, it's for the ECW title. It's between Christian and William Regal. This should be a really good matchup between two guys who have really good contrasting styles. And William Regal back on a pay-per-view for the first time. Well, back on a SummerSlam pay-per-view for the first time since, I believe it was 2002 or 2003 or maybe 2004, because we haven't really seen William Regal at a SummerSlam pay-per-view. So really, he's going to be making his SummerSlam pay-per-view return, and he's going to be facing Christian. Now, the build-up to this matchup has been pretty good, with the two with the two involved in tag team matches, and William Regal attacking Christian with Vladimir Kozlov, both of those two attacking Christian. But really, I expect a real good matchup between the two. Nothing great, but don't expect a bad matchup between these two because these two are real good workers. They're known to work well with other guys who have two contrasting styles, and I expect the same here in this matchup, as these two have two different styles in the ring, but that doesn't mean this is going to be a bad matchup. In the end, though, I got to go with Christian retaining his ECW title and possibly moving on to a new feud with either Shelton Benjamin or Vladimir Kozlov, as there's been rumors of a Vladimir Kozlov and Christian feud, and they've been sort of giving you a taste of it with Vladimir Kozlov being involved in tag team matches against Christian. So yeah, I see Christian and a Vladimir Kozlov feud in at the next pay-per-view, which I really not hoping for because I'm not a big Vladimir Kozlov fan, but I guess the WWE is going to go with it. I'd rather have Christian and Shelton Benjamin go at it for the ECW title than Vladimir Kozlov and Christian, but that's just me. But knowing the WWE, they're just probably going to go with Vladimir Kozlov and Christian. Then we go to the third matchup. It's between Jack Swagger and MVP. The build-up for this has been real good with Jack Swagger. It started off when Jack Swagger was traded to Raw, and then he got in a confrontation with MVP, and the two had a match, and Jack Swagger got the best of MVP, and he's sort of been getting the best of him in this feud, and MVP's sort of been getting some of his in this feud, but really, this is a match that's just going to determine where one guy's going to, it's going to determine where one guy's going to go, if one guy's going to go, well, yeah, it's going to determine, like, two guys going in two different directions. It's going to determine whether one guy's going to go up or the other guy is going to go down, meaning the winner of this match is going to start moving up and having big things planned for him, and then the loser of this match is going to just be going right down the mid-card road where he's going to be jobbing a lot, or he's going to be stuck in mid-card, useless mid-card feuds, and that's pretty much what this match is just going to determine, and this is a real big matchup. In the end, though, I got to go with Jack Swagger winning this matchup, as like many people have been saying, Jack Swagger, the WWE has got high hopes for Jack Swagger, and they've been pushing him a lot on Raw as of late, and I really don't see the WWE de-pushing him, and thus MVP's just going to end up floating back in mid-card, and he's not going to be really the one to be focused on anymore, which really, if you think about it, the WWE really hasn't been focusing on him that much, even before the Jack Swagger thing. So really, I see MVP getting lost in the shuffle again and floating around and pretty much doing nothing again. And that's a shame because MVP's got a lot of potential and everything like that. And the WWE had so many chances to build MVP up on Raw, but they just pretty much just blew it with what they did to him, and now people just don't care about him anymore. But in the end, like I said, I got to go with Jack Swagger winning this and thus moving up the card, and MVP moving down the card. The number four match is for the IC title match. It's between Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler. Really, this should be a really good matchup. I expect this match to be a little bit better than their Night of Champions matchup, because really it was an okay matchup. Could have been better, but the timing in that match was just way off to me. But I expect a way better matchup between these two here. Expect Rey Mysterio to do a lot of carrying in this matchup, as he's going to carry Dolph Ziggler to a real good matchup. And Dolph Ziggler is going to hold his own, but expect a lot of carrying from Rey Mysterio in this matchup. In the end, though, I got to go with Dolph Ziggler winning the IC title, because the WWE's grooming Dolph Ziggler and they're pushing him, and there's been talks of Dolph Ziggler getting the IC title, and Dolph Ziggler getting the IC title, so I really don't see him losing to Rey Mysterio. So yeah, Dolph Ziggler is going to win this matchup and be your new IC champion, and thus his confidence is going to build up and he moves into another feud, unless they're going to go with Dolph Ziggler and Rey Mysterio at the next pay-per-view, or they might go with Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison. But still, Dolph Ziggler is going to be your new IC champion, and look for him and look for Maria to turn heel and sort of be like Edge and Lita from 2006, sort of like that. Then moving over to the number 5 matchup, it's for the WWE Tag Team Unification matchup. It's between Chris Jericho, Big Show versus Crime Time, JTG, and Shad. This should be a real good matchup. Stay tuned for part.